What is up, ladies and gents, Nolly here, and welcome to another Payday 2 video. I am excited to bring you the Brooklyn Bank Heist webpage, the 2017 Christmas heist, more than likely final Christmas heist Payday 2 will ever receive, so one that has been very highly anticipated and one that I personally am going to make the absolute most of over the next couple of days. I'd say it's also just the most festive feeling. It's releasing so close to Christmas, of course, and if you take a look at this promotional banner for it and some of the screenshots we'll take a look at later, the aesthetic is so wonderfully festive that even me, in the middle of Japan, I still get that Christmassy feel from it. So let's take a look at some of the details surrounding the heist. It is of course a allowed only heist. It's a single day mission, and bearing in mind the recent release of Reservoir Dogs, which did lead some to believe maybe that we wouldn't be getting a Christmas heist, myself included, this year, it does mean we're getting two awesome free updates in as many weeks, which is a huge influx of content, but it does mean I think this heist has been ever so slightly rushed to the door. That doesn't mean it's not going to be a good one though, and it's actually going to be following up the story where we left off, which I do think is a good thing. I think the suspense and intrigue brought out in the previous Reservoir Dogs heist couldn't just be wasted by going off at a tangent and following the regular festive storyline, which is of course Vlad and his brother, which may have been a little more comical and fitting for the season, but like I said, I don't think we could afford to lose the interest and atmosphere that was built up, and it does mean we have some more story elements going on here. So of course it is a lock heist, Yuletide is upon us, and the events surrounding the ambush on Bane remains a mystery. There isn't even a body, so of course Bane is pretty much guaranteed to be alive. Locke has a lead that takes the gang to a bank in Brooklyn, so even though the holidays are closing in, it's not Santa time yet. The snow that covers New York City will soon change from white to red. So of course, worth mentioning, of course, not a Vlad heist, potentially because, you know, Vlad could be involved in Bane's disappearance. I don't think so. I think you should probably cast your gaze more over to, I don't know, the elephant or maybe the dentist, but that's all for a future video. Let's instead focus on this particular heist. We have some screenshots. It's not a massive looking map. It has this outdoor section, some longer sight lines. I love the design, the aesthetic. It is so festive feeling. It also has some throwbacks to previous heists, including the Tasteful Club over there on the right. Here's the vault. We're of course going to be stealing gold, and there are a bunch of safety deposits behind it. This is, I believe, how we make our way in. We actually drive the overkill van straight through the front door. Not so subtle, like I said, stealth is not an option. It's quite interesting actually. Another thing that I suppose indicates it might have been slightly rushed through the door. Of course, the Payday gang currently are almost on the run and away from DC, which means they don't have a driver with them. So they drive the van into the front door of the bank, but you start outside the van, which means that when the van drives itself off, there's literally no one driving it, which is interesting to say the very least. The indoor section of the bank, of course, it really has this sort of big bank style ornate aesthetic with all the Christmas decorations around, which is awesome. It's quite a compact looking version though. It's also multi-layered. Worth mentioning, this is a balcony on the second floor, and there's a bunch of clutter everywhere, which I'm a huge fan of. This is perfect for your shotguns, and then when you go out onto the streets, of course, you want to use your ranged weapons wherever possible. A couple more screenshots for us to take a glance at though. Again, you see the more claustrophobic design inside. Someone's playing on far too easy a difficulty over here. As you can tell, we're actually going to be heisting the very familiar face of the Harvest and Trustee branch. And this is the final screenshot, which I do think is the most impactful and impressive looking one. As you can see, even though there are cameras, it does look like this heist could be stealthable. It is not, and you're going to be going in loud no matter what. So there is the heist itself. I think the screenshots look wonderful. The aesthetic and design of the heist is probably my favourite part about it, even though it is going to be one of the shorter style ones, not a multi-day one like we saw with Reservoir Dogs. But that's not all we get in this update. We also get some animal themed winter masks. We have the Ursus maritimus over here, a polar bear fight global warming with a mighty roar while wearing this magnificent face covering. We have the fearless lynx, never come between a cat and his prey or a heister and his loot. We have the Canis lupus, blow down the bank vaults and scare the crap out of all the little pigs while wearing this mask. And finally we have the Alces, which is a moose or a stag. Make the hunted become the hunter and stagger your way through any heist with these impressive horns. I'm a huge fan of these animal masks actually. I think they've come a really long way since the original ones were released in Armored Transport, and of course these are nicely themed with the festive season. So there we go guys, I'm always a huge fan of the seasonal updates, and I think Overkill like to have a bit of fun with it. So even though it is a story style mission that's going to carry on where we left off, and there's going to be a bunch for us to analyse, it's still going to be light-hearted fun, and I think you guys should definitely give this heist a go immediately. It is of course out for us all to play. Also worth noting, of course, it is the Steam Winter Sale, so you guys can pick up Payday 2 Ultimate Edition for over 50% off, or just complete your DLC collection wherever applicable. And of course, the original, if you guys have never played that, is 75% off itself. So the perfect time to give Payday 2 and Payday the Heist a go. Of course, Payday 2 has just received one of the biggest influxes of free content I believe we've ever seen. So guys, hopefully I'll see you in Payday 2 itself and in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you then.